Hello and welcome to Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky and I am joined across the table by Matt Stewart. Hello, Matt.
Oh, yes. Hello. He faked us out. He did a quick point to Jess, and then he moved it around to me. Number one. Or
Number
two,
one.
I guess. Number two. Number two.
And number 3 is...
Sucked in, number 3. You
Jess,
piece of shit.
Jess Perkins, you are, in Matt's words, a piece of shit. Hello.
Oh, no.
Number 3. Number 3. The third to die. I'll be the last one living.
Oh.
Well, probably. You're
Yeah.
2 days older than I am, but women generally have a better life expectancy.
Yeah.
By a couple of years usually, right?
Yeah, so
Sorry, Dave.
how's your health, Jess? You feeling good?
Pretty good. I was actually just thinking before that what I might do later this afternoon is go cancel my gym membership. So yeah, my health's tip-top. Thank
Were
you.
you really... So
Can't
how...
say because you've already achieved perfection.
You went...
Yeah.
I've clocked fitness. What next?
There's no maintenance on that. Once you hit peak fitness, you're just there forever.
That
Yeah.
is the shittest thing about fitness.
Isn't it? That you lose it so quickly.
Yeah.
How long have you been a member?
A few years actually.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. You've done the
Yeah.
time. It's not like you've done your 2 free trials and you're like, not for me.
No,
No,
several
that's
years.
smart if you do your 2 free trials and you quit it. Most people do your 2 free trials, somehow get signed up to a direct debit, and
Yeah.
it just rolls on, and you go, oh shit,
Well,
that
that's
money's
exactly-
coming out of my account.
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
it. The
not
money
getting
comes out, and I can't remember the last time I was there.
Oh, so how I was going to say, how often are you going?
Well, at various times I've been a frequent gym goer, but now that now that comedy's bloody taken off,
You're like, I've got a podcast. I don't need
That's
to
the
look good. They
worst.
only hear me.
it's the worst sentence I've ever said in my life. I also do a radio show. They only hear me. It's
Exactly.
fine.
So you're going to spend that money on elocution lessons.
Exactly.
So you can learn to say kittens, I believe, is your weakness.
I'm going to
Kitten.
learn how to say S properly.
What? Learn to say what, probably?
S. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's
you
perfectly
can do
normal.
it.
Fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Tricks. Anyway,
Jeff.
so yeah, so my fitness is great. Thank you.
Great. I've never been to a gym, so
Really?
just think about
I
that.
That's
haven't been in a
surprising, because
couple months.
you're a pretty fit and flexible young man.
Flexible, especially.
Flexible. Well,
Old bendy Dave over here.
Did
I'm
you
not
know,
that
listeners,
flexible.
that he can lick his elbow?
Oh, you can do that.
that is true. Both elbows. One at a time.
No,
I
Matt's
can
right.
lick my forearm.
Hello.
Just.
Pretty good. Mate, I'll have to put this on the list of things to tweet out, but I'll tweet a photo of me licking my elbow.
I thought it's funny when Dave told me that proudly. I'm like, yeah, good on you. Everyone can.
And then you tried.
like, oh, I just need to know if my
I
tongue was a
just
foot longer. You licked the side of your face.
I licked the mic while trying to lick the...
You are
Yeah,
so far off.
your tongue is going in the wrong way. Yeah, that's it. It's like you're looking into a mirror and you're confused.
I'm like a confused puppy. I'm hyper flexible. I can put my hands flat on the ground. I can actually go beyond my feet.
Oh,
With straight legs.
Straight legs.
I can touch my knees.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Sitting down. Can you touch them now? Ooh.
It's funny. It's funny you should say I'm flexible. That's because 4 New Years ago, I made the resolution to become more flexible because I felt that I couldn't get past my knees, and now I can touch my toes because before bed every night I just stretch my legs.
Oh,
Gotta
that's
stop
good.
doing that.
Just stretching.
That inspired me at the time, but I don't think I even did it once.
You should
I'm
do
like,
it.
I'm going to do it every night like Dave.
I know,
Because it's
I'm-
so easy, and also you wake up feeling less sort of crumpled.
Oh,
that's good.
I'm such I sleep pretty much in a ball.
Yeah, so if you stretch before bed, I guarantee your back will feel better.
I'm really bad at being consistent with things though, because I even printed out this. This is so lame. There was I think it's called Buns, Guns, and Abs 30-day challenge.
Nice. Buns, guns, and abs. Yep, good.
So you do push-ups, squats, and like leg lifts for your abs. And it's a 30-day challenge, so it increases slightly day by day. And I was like, cool. And I printed it out and stuck it on my mirror. I was like, because I look at that a lot, my mirror. I was like, it'll inspire me to do it, and I'll like cross it off each day. How many days do you reckon I've crossed off?
3.
1.
Okay.
I've done the first one
How long ago was that?
a few weeks ago.
Oh dear. Is it still there on the mirror?
Yeah.
Do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
guilty every time you look at it?
Yeah. But I'm still going
You
to
can
cancel
always
that
start
gym
again,
membership.
right?
Yeah, exactly. I can
Yeah.
start again.
I think what you have to do is cancel the gym membership, but then start doing the guns, buns,
Yeah.
And
abs.
challenge. Yeah, you're right.
Guns, buns, and abs.
It's pretty great.
I couldn't
This,
find an uns rhyme for abs.
and Tums.
Oh, it's
Idiot.
close.
Oh, yeah, Guns, Buns, Tums. That's very good. Now, Jess, is this report that you're about to give us on a topic anything to do with fitness?
Well, yeah, I was going to say this does kind of tie in a little bit. So that'll be
Amazing.
kind of
Because Matt
interesting.
and I don't know what you're about to school us in, but we usually start with a question to get us into or onto the topic.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to be?
This week, who do you think is the greatest explorer in history?
Oh, my God. There's so many.
Explorer being a...
Explorer
yeah,
of
classic
land
ones.
or of sea?
Or of mind.
Oh.
Of the mind.
Just spitball. Who are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking the names. I don't know anything about any of these people really, but the names I think of are James Cook,
Good one.
Magellan,
Ferdinand Magellan.
the guy. What's the guy?
Christopher Columbus.
Columbus is the other one.
So
They're
you're
the
going
three big
mostly
ones.
ocean, aren't you?
What about...
This is land, and a very pointy high land.
Oh, Everest.
Oh, Mount Everest. Is it...
Is it the New Zealand guy?
Yeah, what was his name?
Why have I gone blank?
You'll know what it
I know
says,
it's a
I say
Tism
it.
lyric.
Oh, of course, it's a fucking
Yeah, of
tism
course
lyric.
it is.
In Never Gonna Be an Old Man River, he says, someone had Everest in his veins, and it's the guy's name. What is it?
I don't know why I've gone blank.
It's a guy's name, and this is a famous guy. I
It
know
is.
this guy.
And I kind of want
Hillary had Everest in his veins.
Very
Yes,
good.
Edmund Hillary.
Edmund
Edmund Hillary.
Hillary. Very good. You
And-
got there.
His sidekick, who people always overlook.
The was that Samson the donkey?
What? You mean Simpson and his donkey?
That's so disrespectful
Oh my
to
God.
the actual human.
Do you mean Simpson and his donkey from the
Tenzing.
Gallipoli?
Tenzing Norgay was his
Tenzing
Sherpa.
Norgay.
Oh, he had a Sherpa. Yeah, of course. And they're the guys who probably do all the work.
Do a lot of the work.
I didn't know he had a sidekick.
You thought he had a fucking donkey
Yeah,
on
there you go.
Everest.
I was getting a couple of stories confused there.
You were.
Oh, this is-
Samson with the hair,
Simpson
and his donkey, and
Hillary on a mountain. Very different.
it would have been a mountain goat if anything.
Yeah.
So he had a Sherpa. Why isn't the Sherpa
the Sherpa-
famous?
He wasn't his Sherpa. He was a person also on the expedition.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
there was a 2-man expedition.
There was more than that. Much more than that.
Oh, I guess we're gonna find this stuff
We're going to
out.
find so much out.
Good
Shall
topic.
I begin?
I don't know anything about this.
Well, see, like, it's interesting. I think I must have done it in primary school or something. So obviously I will cover the actual, like, their expedition in a bit more detail. But what I found kind of interesting was just his life as well. Like, he was a really interesting guy.
Right.
So we'll have a bit of a bloody look.
It's-
I-
I never had thought of him as an explorer either.
Yeah, I know. That's
Thought
why
of him as a climber,
that's
but that
why
makes
at the start
sense.
I was
He's
like, explorer
exploring
is
new-
hard. Is
new
a bit
ground.
of a tricky term. But if I said who's the best mountain climber, it might give it away.
Is he was he the first person to climb Everest, or the first white person to climb Everest?
First person.
Right. Cool.
Well, yeah.
Recorded person.
Yeah. Maybe they got to the top.
Yeah, some
previously.
guy's like, I'm not going to write this down or anything, like 2,000 years ago. Made it, just went for a jog up the mountain,
Yeah.
which I call
I think it would be pretty doubtful.
the Dumpy's Hill, is what I call it. But
And I'm Dumpy.
yeah, I'm Dumpy. That's why I call it that. Because it's just no big deal. I jog up it every morning.
Dumpy's Hill. It's just my morning exercise.
I wonder if
Say
there are
goodbye to your
big
gym
hills
membership.
somewhere in the world, is what he used to say to his friends. He dreamed about
Sorry.
heading around the world. But, yeah.
Dumpy's Hill. So, Edmund Hillary was born in New Zealand in 1919. His sister,
Oh.
yeah,
It's the year of my grandfather's birth. Not that anyone needs to know that, but
No one
I...
needs to know
but
that.
you
I
chucked
hope-
it in there anyway.
Jeez, I hope Jess edits that out.
Yeah, just really clean. I edit all of his sentences out.
Do you?
Yeah, it's this podcast to
It's
listeners.
heavily edited.
It's just you and I.
I'm sure people would.
No one knows I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm trapped in the studio. Send help.
I don't think Dave gets it. None of this is going,
None of it's
going
going.
out, mate.
His mic is off. Anyway, so he's born in New Zealand in 1919. His sister June was 2 years older than him. He had a brother Rex who was 1 year younger.
Great name that needs to come back.
So Rex was born in
Rex?
1920, the same year as both of my grandfathers.
Matt,
Oh.
Does anyone need to know that? Please.
No one needs to know.
Stop making this podcast about your family.
Now, their father, whose name was Percival, another great name, was a really strict, hard parent who Edmund admits he was quite scared of. They sort of feared their dad.
Well, as you should. I think you should. Everyone should fear their dad.
I think you should fear everything and everyone. I just think you should live your life in fear, personally. That's why I got this big tattoo that says fear.
Who can you trust?
No one.
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
I've got the no fear tattoo with those weird eyes. I got it done in the mid '90s.
No regrets.
I've got Mambo with that
Yeah.
dog lighting
The
his fart.
Musical. What is it called? It's got a name, that dog fart thing.
Does it? I know it's Reg Mombassa is the
Yeah,
artist.
Dog fart. Dog toot. It's called something
Dog
like
toot. That's great.
I had a Mambo pencil case with that dog fart on it.
Did ya?
That was pretty popular.
God, you're a baller. Can I go on?
Please.
Normally it's someone else going, do go on it. Can I please?
Yeah.
What places to be?
So pretty tough childhood, I'm imagining.
He was a pretty small, weedy child. I imagine him much like a small Dave Warnocky.
Oh God.
He was a very skinny child. He remembers being quite lonely at school and not having many friends.
Oh.
That I wasn't tying to you. Just
Thank
the
you.
small thing.
We've had quite a lot of friends, thank you.
Yeah.
Imaginary and otherwise.
Yeah, that's funny. Something I thought was quite cute was that in an interview, his sister said one of their father's rules was that the children went to bed early and went straight to sleep. But Edmund was a big reader. He loved reading, and he'd stay awake until like 1 or 2 in the morning reading.
I love the idea of a dad saying, everyone go to bed and go to sleep straight away. He comes in 5 minutes. If you're still awake, he's going to yell at you until you fall asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Are you asleep yet? Are you sleeping? How now? How about now? How about now? You sleeping? I'm going to kill you.
Dad, you're making me really tired with this tirade.
What's that you're talking? You're probably not talking in your sleep though, are you?
Maybe that's where tirade comes from the word tired. And
Dave's face was contorted and very scary in that
It's-
entire exchange.
it is nice to see Dave fire up. He's normally so composed.
There's not much that will fire me up. One thing is, kids not going to sleep straight away.
When told. On command.
On command. And sleep. Right?
Dave's
work.
children are little chickens, and
They're
he's
hypnotised.
yeah, he's used to them really going down. He just blocks out the sun, and it's all he has to do
Right.
is block out the sun.
Lights out.
Away they go. Anyway, so he would stay up late reading, and when his father found out that he was staying awake late reading, he was furious. But instead of stopping, Edmund just tied a piece of string around his toe that led to his sister's bed. Like, she was in a separate room, but like, I think they were sort of joined. And when she would hear or see their father coming, she'd pull on the string, and he would like put his books away and pretend to be asleep. I
Okay,
just think-
so the dad's not noticing a big
A long
string.
piece of
I
string.
know.
He's fine with string, just kids being awake. Now that.
Not okay.
He draws the line.
No.
Dad's got a short fuse but a long string. That almost made sense.
Now, he was quite a small, weedy 11-year-old boy, and he struggled when he first attended the Auckland Grammar School. And he remembers a PE teacher sorting them into groups and him being sorted with the other misfits, as they refer to, which is nice. And this was the beginning, as he says, of his lifelong feeling of inferiority. With everything that
Really?
he goes on to achieve, he always feels inferior. Das fucked.
But they're the guys who achieve stuff in life,
Yeah.
guys and girls. They're normally
Thank
people
you.
with daddy issues.
We can achieve things. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Did I say usually or anything like that made it sound like I know that that's a fact? I've just heard anecdotally that high achievers often have
Daddy issues.
daddy issues, want to get the approval from their dad, so they really strive for great heights.
Yeah.
Literally sometimes.
Much like Edmund Hillary.
No, I wasn't thinking of him. I was thinking of
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin, yep.
He went even higher, Dave.
Yeah.
Read a fucking book.
Read
Quite-
it, mate, read a book.
Listen
Well,
to
I
it-
would,
listen
but my
to our
dad
podcast.
keeps coming in and yelling at me every time I get one out.
I don't know what your excuse is for not I had a great relationship with my dad. Still do. And that's why
You've achieved nothing.
I'm quite mediocre in all respects.
So really, as a father yourself now, you need to just bring the pain.
It's already being done.
Good.
Nothing ever. He brings things to me like he's a baby, but he'll bring some like a painting or
Yeah.
something. I'd be like,
Look what I did, Dad.
I'm like, oh, this is the shittest thing I've ever seen.
You know I like.
Try again.
You know I like sculpture.
Yeah.
Get back out there.
Jesus, I know you don't have the fine motor skills to sculpt things
Yeah.
yet, but come on, you're a Stuart man.
Yeah.
By your age, Mozart had written like 30 symphonies, so
yeah.
What's your
I
excuse?
assume. I don't know that for sure, but I assume
I
that.
assume.
What's your excuse, shithead?
Yeah. Go fucking... I'm not looking at you again till you've got at least 30 symphonies or equivalent in sculptures.
Yeah.
Sculptures.
No, I will not buy you building
In
materials or a
sculptors.
piano.
Yeah.
I think the equivalent of 30 symphonies in sculptures is 45 sculptures.
Yeah, easily.
I think, yes, one symphony to 1.5 sculptures.
Or 4 sculptors. Like if you're going to...
If you can round them up.
You're going to round them up, maybe teach them. I mean, it depends. If they're pre-made sculptors, you probably need about 12. But if you're actually teaching people from scratch, guys who've never sculpted, then it'd be about 4 sculptors equals 30 symphonies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, young man, you got it?
You got that? Did you write that down?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't write yet. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that right? You can't write.
Yeah,
Well,
another thing you can't do.
Go to bed.
now.
So
Sleep.
your son would obviously be in this misfits group as well, of course.
What do you mean by that?
So, so at 11, he's this weedy little kid, but by 15, having worked on his father's honey farm, they were beekeepers, he now towers well over 6 foot.
Oh, see, Jess, that's what you should do. You should work on a bee farm and then
hope for a growth spurt.
you'll be big and strong.
I'm already big and strong.
And your buns will be amazing, apparently.
Oh, Dave. Stop talking
you
about
mean-
Jess's buns,
You
please.
mean in reference to my lack of fitness? Gotcha.
Yep.
I thought you meant in terms of making my dad proud, and I'll never do it, Dave.
Buns, guns, and tums. So there are some things, like, imagine if you just stick to that. You get really fit buns, really fit tums, really fit guns, but then just like these weird tiny forearms, like shriveled up calf muscles. You'd be a real misshapen freak.
I won't.
You've done well not to stick to that.
I agree. So anyway, we're back on the bee farm.
He's on the bee
So
farm.
how tall is he? 6 foot?
He's over 6 foot, and he's only 15, so he grew even taller. And he just became really physically strong. Like, he was a very strong person.
No, physically strong.
Yeah, not mentally or emotionally.
Still very weak emotionally.
Oh, big time. But physically, quite strong, which, I hold that above any other type of strength.
Same.
Me too.
There you go. In his final year at school, he went on a school trip to a volcanic plateau in the centre of the North Island. And it was the first time he'd seen snow. And this trip, like, they did a bit of skiing. They just sort of, like, did a little bit of climbing up little hills. And like, not big mountaineering climbs or anything like that. But they were just sort of mucking around. And it was sort of the trip was the beginning of his passion for climbing. That's sort of how he even puts it.
Funny that the first ever man to climb Mount Everest didn't see snow until he was like 17 or 18.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not like some guy that's grown up there.
Wait, but you did say there was another guy.
Yes.
Was Hillary... Oh, we'll get to that. But I'm wondering, was the second guy, whose name I've already forgotten...
Tenzing.
Tenzing. I wonder, was he like the Buzz Aldrin? He stepped up second?
What do you mean? Like, he...
Like, was he the second guy off the rocket ship at
Yeah.
the top of the mountain?
Yeah, it was those two together.
Together, they stepped there at the
Spoiler
same
alert.
time?
Oh, well, there's a big debate about that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Tenzing.
That's a bit of sizzle
Right
for
now,
later.
I
Tenzing, you write it
rarely
down.
write anything down, but I'm writing that down.
Tenzing. Tenzing. So 4 years later, he's finished school, and both the Hillary boys, so his brother Rex, they're working on their father's honey farm when World War II breaks out. And originally, Edmund signed up for the Air Force. However, the entire family had recently joined a fringe Christian faith called Radiant Living. Seems a little culty, but it's actually I looked it up. Their whole sort of idea is this balance of like faith, but also like physical fitness and health. So it's all about like healthy eating and stuff as well. It's kind of combining all of like the diet fads now with religion, which I
It's
think
a
is
sweet mix.
what the diet fads are missing.
Yeah, I think that's also like combining all the things that people don't find annoying about people.
Exactly.
Hey, what do you want to chat about? Oh, please.
Radiant
Nothing
living.
with the Hillarys. Don't talk to the
Don't
Hillarys.
talk about
Don't
it.
make small talk with the Hillarys.
Now, part of this radiant living was like it was a pacifist belief, like so they were against the war. And Rex Hillary spent the war behind wire, is the way it was noted. It seemed like some sort of incarceration as a conscientious objector. So he was like, because conscription was around then, so he was going, no, I won't have a bar of it because I'm a conscientious objector.
So that's Rex.
Rex, his brother. And somehow their father argued to have Edmund exempt as well, which is weird because then like Rex is in some sort of prison, but not really a prison. but Edmund's fine. I couldn't really follow what happened there. But basically both boys were like, no, I'm not going to war. But that kind of troubled Edmund. He felt a bit about it. Is the technical term being
Yeah, it would be tricky knowing that other people are doing it.
Yeah.
But also being like, I just don't want to be a part of that bullshit.
Yeah, but he kind of did, and he was starting to lose faith in his religion. He was bored with his life. Like he was sort of feeling very like this is it, which he wasn't happy with. And he convinced his father to let him have time off from radiant living, and he did join the Air Force as a navigator.
I was going to say, because a lot of people join the army at the time because of an adventure, because they feel like it's a purpose.
Exactly. So he joins the Air Force, he's a navigator, and...
which is what my grandfather was in the Second World War.
Wow.
The one born in 1919. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Do you think?
I'm related to Sir Edmund Hillary.
Oh, my God.
He was just living a quiet country life when I met him.
Really? What? You've never brought this up?
This is amazing.
2 in 2 weeks. You're the grandson of Walt Disney. I'm the grandson of Edmund Hillary. Jess, who knows who your great-grandfather is?
Who knows? Well, actually, my great-great-uncle was James Scullin, who was the Prime Minister of Australia. That's an uncle, so that's completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
Is that true?
That is true.
Hang on, have you not brought that up? That's pretty... Matt doesn't seem impressed. I'm suitably impressed.
Yeah. He had like one term, wasn't great. Depression didn't help, you know.
Yeah. It's hard to be popular in tough times.
I remember very little about him, though, so please no follow-up questions.
I'm just impressed. I really am. Please do go on.
Right, so he's a navigator in the Air Force, and the routine search and rescue missions aren't exciting enough for him. So with another airman, Ron Ward, he restored an old boat, and between patrols, he goes hunting for crocodiles. During an accident on the boat that they'd made, though, like something exploded, he got really severely burned and was sent home due to his injuries. So he was sent back to New Zealand.
Makes sense why I was drawn towards the snow.
It's nice and cool. Can't get burnt in the snow, can you?
Yep.
You can get frostbite and lose a limb, though. So,
So how, like, properly burned? He was really injured?
In future interviews, like, it's nothing all that visible. Like, it's not all over his arms or face or anything like that. But apparently the injuries were quite bad. I think it's, like, upper arm. It's not good. And over the next few years, when he wasn't beekeeping with his brother, he was on the Southern Alps in New Zealand. So he was preparing to climb Mount Cook, which is the highest mountain in New Zealand, which is 3,724 metres.
That's pretty high.
Just a little sizzle, though, because we know what he's going to do later. Everest is 8,848 metres.
Whoa. Yeah,
So,
I had no idea. I was like,
double.
oh, is 3,000 that good?
It's pretty big, but it's not Everest.
What's Australia's highest one? Is Kosciuszko?
Kosciuszko.
Do you know what that is?
I'm not. I was just thinking that myself.
I bet it's 2,000 or something.
I reckon,
No, I reckon it'd be... Okay, do we say bigger or...
Because New Zealand's famously got big mountains.
I reckon-
Great ski resorts, and Australia's got kind of shitty ones. But maybe that's
I reckon
to do with their place.
about 2,800 metres for Mount Kosciuszko.
I'm going to say 2,650.
Mount Kosciuszko has a height of 2,228 metres.
Oh, both overshot it. Price is right, we'd both be out.
Yeah.
Wow. So we've got this pissy little... I've walked to the top of Kosciuszko. You can just walk it. There's a trail.
Really?
You don't need to climb it. I've just walked up.
Yeah, right.
You
So
don't-
you did a quarter of an Everest.
Oh.
That's pretty good. You just do that 4 times and you...
Yeah.
And
beaten
I
the
was
hill.
like a teenager too.
Imagine
Back
how,
before gym memberships.
imagine how good you'd be now. Well, imagine how good you would have been at your peak when you're actually visiting the gym.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Whoa.
Imagine how
brief
good you'll
period.
be when you have your guns, buns and tums.
Yeah.
Peak
They're-
physical.
They're the 3 key ingredients to a successful
yeah.
I'm sure
climber.
you're about to tell us about that.
About my guns, buns.
No,
and
about how
tums.
Edmund Hillary worked out his guns, buns and tums every day for
Every
a
day.
couple of months before
Every
he went.
day. No, he seemed to just be climbing all the time and just like, shorter climbs, just doing sections. He reached the peak of Mount Cook on an expedition in 1947. So he did that. And he returns the following year to attempt the previously unclimbed south ridge of Mount Cook. I don't know if he was successful there, but let's assume he was.
So he's about 28 then? Pretty good.
47, yeah. 1947. Yeah.
28.
Which is quite old. What's he doing with his life?
28. Well,
Just beekeeping and climbing.
he's been in the Second World War.
I know,
I
right?
imagine that took a couple of years of your life.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
How many world wars have you been to, Jess? I like the idea of going to a world war.
I've been there.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Tick.
In 1951, he joined a New Zealand party to the Central Himalayas, which the trip wasn't actually all that successful for him, because what sort of happened, this is entirely from memory from watching a documentary, they were in this group there was at least 4 of them, all New Zealanders, and one of his buddy, George, stops because his feet were so cold. They didn't have adequate footwear. So his feet were really cold, so they stopped to like try and sort that out. And the other 2 kept going, and Edmund Hillary was like, well, they'll wait for us, like they'll wait, but they didn't. They just kept going. So Edmund and George have just set up a camp, and the others like came back and like, oh yeah, we made it to the top. So we can all head back down now.
Oh.
Yeah, and he felt really disappointed that he hadn't made it, and like angry at himself. He wasn't really mad at the others. He was angry
He
at
was
himself.
pissed at George.
He was probably a little pissed at George, but he didn't say that. So, but all it's done is like just pushed him forward in his mind. He's just even more like set on succeeding and climbing.
He called his dad that night and said, I made it a fair bit of the way. His dad said,
Not good enough.
Means nothing.
Why did you call me? To tell me that you failed again.
The bees need you, and you're not here.
You're letting down the bees. You're not even making it to the top, mate.
No.
And plus, if my time zone calculations are correct, you are definitely past your bedtime, mate.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Are you
Go to
reading
sleep.
again? Just yelling over the phone. So the following year in 1952, he was invited to by climbing legend Eric Shipton. You know, that legend.
The great Shipton.
To attempt Everest. Right now, traditionally, Everest had always been attempted from the north, which was the Tibetan side, and the British had already tried and failed 7 times to scale the mountain from that
Classic
side.
British.
Oh, dear.
Classic British.
And the route to Everest was closed because China had taken over control of Tibet, and Nepal only allowed 1 expedition per year. And a Swiss expedition had attempted to reach the summit in 1952, but turned back by bad weather and exhaustion 800 feet or 240 metres from the summit.
That's so annoying, isn't it, when they get so close?
It's like a Burke and Wills thing again. Like, you're so close. 240 metres.
But they were tired.
240 metres.
I imagine the top
We're
bit.
tired and the weather was bad.
Meh.
Oh, yeah, it was bad at the top of Mount Everest, you fucking losers. Of course it's going to be bad. Put a second jacket on. Bloody put a smile on your dial and let's get this done. They obviously were getting on very well with their parents. Pieces of shit. Classic Swiss. Just
Put
quitters.
a smile on your dial and get it done. It's great.
Hashtag it.
Classic quitters. No, it's not worth a hashtag. Don't force it,
You've
Matt.
been
Don't
told.
force it.
You've been told,
Let
Matt.
it happen naturally. We'll get to a hashtag, okay? Just let it happen. Hashtag natural hashtag, okay? For example.
Oh, yeah, that was
example.
nice. That was a nice
I
experience.
know, I'm very good at them. So yeah, they're sort of restricted because they can't. Nepal will only allow 1 expedition a year, and so they've already tried, and they got so close, and they didn't. So during a routine trip in the Alps, Hillary discovered that he and his friend George Lowe, had been invited for the approved British 1953 attempt. Right, so they're like, okay, well, the Swiss have fucked it. The Brits are going to have a go, and they've
For,
been
like the
invited.
eighth time.
Yeah, but from a different angle this time, because they've tried from the Tibetan side, which is the north side, which is apparently how it's always been traditionally attacked. Now they're going to try from Nepal, because they can't get in from Tibet, because China's like, no thank you.
Hey, I
It's a
feel a
direct
bit,
quote.
feeling a bit guilty about my little outburst against the Swiss. Look, I just want to let the Swiss know that I have Swiss blood in me.
Is that true?
Yeah, and I just, it was no hard feelings. A little bit, I'm one of you. I can say that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Please, don't go all neutral on me. I know that's your way. Don't wage neutrality on me. Just keep on keeping on, Swiss. You dumb cunts.
That was a sweet burn. Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland,
Yes,
everybody.
all
Thank you. Thank you. I stayed silent there thinking about that for a while there. High fives have been dished out. I appreciate it.
So he's been invited to be part of the British 1953 attempt, right? And he immediately accepts, but he feels a lot of guilt about staying away from home even longer than planned and leaving his father and brother to attend to the bees. Like, he really did feel guilty about the bees.
Oh, for God's
He's
sake,
like, oh,
Edmund.
it's a lot of work for Dad and Rex.
I mean, as far as it's in the top. They're keeping bees. How hard could that be?
I don't know.
Hell.
They must have at least 3 bees.
So he feels
One
quite...
for each man.
So he feels...
Edmund, your bee's getting really pissed. Where are you? It's just flying around in circles. He's really bored. He wants you to come play
He's
with
got
him.
so much honey in its box or whatever. Big box of honey. Oh, Jess's face made me feel weird.
So he sends a telegram to his brother and father, and I have the telegram. It says, oh, can I say stop where the full stops are? Because presumably
Yes.
that's how it would have been.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yes!
Just
Okay.
like on The Sound of Music.
Yeah. So he says, invited Shipton Everest expedition. Stop. Could not refuse. Stop.
Wait, can I stop you?
I hate you.
You've got to do it in a more of a Sydney Scheinberg kind of voice.
Well, no, because he's a Kiwi too.
Yeah, but that's how they just read them in the olden days.
I'm not doing a voice.
Yeah, fuck you. I definitely would have. I'm a dancing monkey for you. I do bad English accents at the drop of a
Okay,
hat.
all right. I'll do it, but the
I
other thing,
guilted you into it.
the other thing I can think to do is like a 1940s voice.
Yeah,
though.
perfect. Well, that almost
It was
makes
50s, so
sense. It's way off.
I hate this. I just want to read the
Jess, I'm going to stop you
telegram.
right there. That was more of a 1940s voice.
Ugh. So he
Fine,
said,
we've done 2 1950s episodes back to back.
can I read the fucking telegram, please? Thank you. He said, I can't do an accent as well, though, in the 40s voice.
I'll either do a Kiwi voice or a 40s voice.
Invited Shipton Everest expedition. How do they say stop? Stop. So it's the same.
Stip?
Stop.
Stop.
O's is fine. Stop. Could not refuse. Stop. Please forgive earring son. It's supposed to be earring.
And should be forgov.
Forgive earring son.
Oh, this is indecipherable. Maybe you should just do it.
Do we start that again?
All I'm doing is disappointing
Okay.
you guys.
The point was, I've done the dumb accent. The point was, he said, you can't refuse. Please forgive me for being an erring son. I'm sorry. Soz, Dad, but I've got to climb. My heart wants to climb.
P.S. Say hi to my bee for me.
Buzz.
Oh, that's a great name for a bee.
Thank you. I'm good at hashtags and naming pets.
And naming bees. I've only got one name and it's Buzz. But I'm very good at saying it when I need to.
I'm Jess Perkins.
Hi. I'm someone talking to Jess. I'm being Jess, being someone else. Hi. I've got a pet bee. Can you name it for me, please? Yes, Jess, I can. Wait, no, I'm Jess now. Fuck. Can anyone else tell that I'm moving to either side of the microphone at the moment? Well, Jess's friend, also named Jess. I would call your bee Buzz. Oh, you're so good at naming bees, Jess. Well, you're Kiwi now. What has happened? I don't know, but I think Matt's broken. Yeah, he seems to be, doesn't he, eh? Yeah. And scene.
What are you on? Where'd you get that from?
I'm so sorry.
Suddenly got so hyped.
So sorry.
But it was also, like, I think
You
we
get-
could agree, Dave, that was very moving.
All right, I'm going to move my chair a bit further back and just listen for a bit.
No, you still need to contribute. That's too far back. Now we can't hear you. Just stay in place and let Jess talk.
So he's apologised to his family, but he's also like, he knows it's his dream.
Yeah, I got to do it. Like, you can't say no to that opportunity,
that's
right?
fine.
I think that's fine. So, Shipton was named as the leader of this expedition, but he was replaced by a guy called John Hunt.
What happened to Shipton? He's the legend that we all love.
He was still there, but he wasn't the leader for some reason.
A bit of a mutiny on the hill.
Bit of mutiny, but no, I think he was
The
kind of
hill.
okay with it.
The mountain.
The mountain.
Now,
Now,
so John Hunt's now the top
John
dude.
Hunt, top dog, and Hillary considered pulling out, but both John Hunt and Shipton talked him into staying on the expedition. So he was intending to climb with his mate George Lowe, but Hunt named 2 teams for the assault, as they're called. Tom
Sorry,
Bordelon.
Assault or ascent?
It says assault.
Wow.
Because they're assaulting the top of it. They got to really go at it.
Salt melts ice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Ah.
you sprinkle salt after. I learned that from Home Alone. After you shovel the snow off your driveway, you sprinkle salt on it.
There you go. So there's two teams. Tom Bourdillon,
Tom Bourdillon.
And Charles Evans, and Edmund Hillary, and Tenzing Norgay. So
So they're team one.
team one, well, I guess like they're two teams of two. So you got Tom and Charles, Ed and Tenny. Tenzing.
Tenny.
I don't know how you would zing. What'd you
Zinger.
call him? Zinger.
Oh, so much. Like, that's such a good name, Tenzing
Tenzing,
Norgay.
yeah.
It's the only thing I've got written on my piece of paper. That's how much I love it.
It's a great name.
Tenzing Norgay. So many opportunities for nicknames there.
So many.
Tenzo, Tenny, Teabag, Tenzing, Zinger,
Etc.
Zingo,
So there's so many. There's heaps.
Norgay,
Yeah, there's heaps of them.
Is there?
Gabo, whatever.
So there's two teams,
Two teams of two.
but do they go completely different directions, or do they both sort of go the same
I think that, yeah.
same
Yeah.
side of the mountain, or is they separate?
I don't think they're completely separate. I think they may not be like all four of them together at one point, but they're kind of tackling different sections in different ways.
Assaulting
Different sections.
So Tenzing Norgay, who he's forging this friendship with, is he like a local Nepalese guy?
He is. He is a Nepalese-born, I think, Indian Sherpa mountaineer. So he is one of the Sherpas.
He's the guy you want.
Yeah, no, the Sherpas are...
If you're going to get a sidekick,
I know it's easy to back retroactively, but I would definitely back them as my favourite team of the two teams.
Yeah,
the
right.
one with the mountaineer. What are the other guys? Accountants? Sorry,
you know
Jess.
how I feel about
sorry,
accountants.
Jess.
How dare you
Oh,
bring
no.
them? I was having a really lovely day,
Sorry,
and
Jess.
then you brought up accountants.
I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Specialising in tax.
Oh, how dare you?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Jess, apparently a lot of people die whilst climbing Mount Everest, so...
Good. Hope
There
they
you go.
died. No, seriously, lots of people have. So the hunt expedition, total, how many people do you reckon would be involved in an expedition?
Okay, so when you say they're in teams of two, do they also have a team as well?
They've got like a support team as well.
Oh,
yeah.
right, sorry, I thought there was just the two
These
and
are
two.
the main climbers.
Ah, right, but I don't know, how many... Do they have like a guy each helping them?
Matt, how many do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon you'd have a PA each.
Taking notes?
Do you reckon you'd have 400
calls.
people?
No,
They
definitely
had
not.
400 people.
There's no way that's possible.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it makes no sense. So they had 300,
They're on the mountain with them.
362 porters. I'm guessing that I'm guessing they're either at base camp or even lower down. Like it's
All right, Dave, I need you to give me a duty for each of these. Obviously, they'd all have different
So,
jobs.
well,
What
okay,
are the
well, that's it.
400 jobs?
that's the thing. They've got 362
Uh,
porters. Porters are just the ones carrying shit.
Guy carrying the boots,
Yep.
carrying the ropes, that's the second guy. Guy carrying goggles,
Yep.
guy carrying pants,
Yep.
guy washing the pants.
Okay.
That's not a carrier, it's a washer. Guy washing underpants, guy carrying underpants. Guy digging holes for them to take shits in.
Oh,
The
that'd be-
understudy for the guy digging
Yeah,
holes.
exactly.
et cetera,
Understudy.
et cetera. So you see how it adds up. You know, you
They're-
see how you need
they're
that many
official
people.
At
by-
first, when I asked the question, I'm like, "There's no way we're gonna
But
think
now-
of 400." But now, I
Yeah,
think
they're
it'd be pretty easy.
Makes
official
sense.
biographer, photographer,
Unofficial biographer.
unofficial photographer.
Yeah.
The list, it just goes on.
It goes on and on. They had about 20 Sherpa guides, 10,000 pounds of baggage. Ugh. And it was really seen as a team effort. Like they're like, this is it's
I
all
would
it's-
I would say that history sees it.
history
another
definitely
way.
says it
Yeah.
otherwise, yes.
And as far as teams go, how many teams have 400 people?
Yeah, I know. That seems a bit ridiculous, but apparently that's the case.
It feels like, of course, they made it. And 400 people. You could have just like had 400 people holding hands. The bottom guy is at the bottom, and the top guy is at the top. They're just holding hands.
Yeah.
Just a bloody chain of people. I'm holding out my hands in case you guys don't know what that might look like. Imagine there's a guy at that end holding my hand, and a guy at that end holding my hand, and each of those guys are also holding a
Times
guy's
that by
hand.
400. I don't think that'll make it to the top of an 8.8 kilometre mountain, but
Well, I don't know if you're doing the maths right, Dave. Jess, am I right?
I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, Dave, so shut the fuck up.
I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm so sorry that he felt the need to contribute. When I say it was a team effort, though, it's kind of the way that they break up different parts of the expedition. So, for example, George Lowe supervised the preparation of I'm going to say this definitely wrong, like the Lhotse face, which is this huge ice face for climbing. So he sort of, supervised that. Edmund Hillary forged a route through part of an ice fall. So it's kind of like they're all taking turns in being the leader and working together as a team. Because the idea is just that we get to the top because nobody's done it, right? You look concerned. What's wrong?
Yeah, and it's just who's paying 400 people?
Yeah, it seems excessive.
It's always about the money with you, Dave.
So the expedition set up base camp in March of 1953. So maybe I'm doubting 400 people are in base camp, but there's a support group at base camp. They're there at March 1953.
So Edmund's 34 years old.
Yeah,
Still time for us, guys.
there's still time. Well, not much for you, buddy. But
Cop that, Matt. You're just going to have to find 400 mates.
so they work quite slowly up to its final camp at the South Col, which is at 25,900 feet, which is 7,890 metres. So
That's really high.
it's quite high, yeah. And on the 26th of
I
May,
prefer quite high. Really high was a bit excessive.
quite high.
Like more than 3 Mount Kosciuszkos.
It's quite high.
Pretty high. Jess strolled up. one
Yeah,
after
I
another.
strolled up really easy. We took a packet
So
of
it's
chips
3
with us.
strolls.
And I was like 13. Just, anyway,
And how much ice and snow was there?
not a lot.
Yep.
Imagine if she was 39. She could easily do Everest.
On the 26th of May, the other team, Bordillion and Evans, attempted the climb but turned back when Evans' oxygen system failed. The pair had reached the south summit, which meant that they came within 300 vertical feet or 91 metres of the summit.
Oh
They're
my
91
god.
metres away. They didn't quite make it.
I don't know how. It's obviously very icy up there, but maybe you could see it.
I mean, I walk
Yeah, I wonder.
91
It's probably so
metres.
foggy. No, I don't reckon you could.
I walk 91 metres nearly every day.
Do you walk it up?
Sometimes.
I reckon you might even walk.
So they just had to bail because without the oxygen, you'd obviously die trying
Yeah,
to get.
exactly.
Damn it!
So they turned around and came back. So that's when John Hunt then directed Edmund Hillary and Tenzing to go for the summit. He's like, go for it.
Oh my god! So there was just a bit of luck there for Edo.
I guess so in a way, but
I think they probably thought that all 4 of them would make it though.
probably, yeah. Presumably they thought you're the ones who are going to go to the top. But the snow and wind held the pair back at the South Col, which is that spot, which is at 25,900 feet. So they've still got like a long way to go. They had to wait there for another couple of days because the weather conditions were quite bad, and they set out on the 28th of May with support trio, including George Lowe and a couple of others. So they pitched a tent at that spot on the 28th of May while their support group returned down the mountain. And on the following morning, Hillary discovered that his boots had frozen solid outside the tent. So he spent 2 hours warming them up before he and Tenzing attempted the final ascent. And they were both wearing 30-pound or 14-kilo packs, which doesn't seem like a lot. 14 kilos.
That's
but
nearly
that's
all
a
of
lot.
Dave's weight.
I know.
And
It's
you're trying to
having Dave
climb
on your
like
back.
trying to climb up ice and rock, and
And they're like, there's very little oxygen, so you're
yes, you're really tired.
you're exhausted.
But I also think that
Every step is a battle.
it's very dumb to leave your shoes outside in the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but it's rude not to.
Yes. I don't want to ruin the carpet.
Oh,
What?
that's great.
But how do you warm up? Is he just breathing on them?
They've probably got little
How do you warm up
little-
shoes when you're in the snow?
little kerosene burner things. I reckon. you put
Ah,
a thing in.
Yeah.
right.
Probably, yeah, I wonder.
Put them on a fry pan.
No, probably just breathe it on a bit.
Using your very little air. That
Yeah,
you've-
exactly. That's probably how you'd want to use your last breath. So the crucial move for the last part of the ascent was a 40-foot or 12-metre rock face that was later named the Hillary Step. It was named after him. Because he saw a means
It's
to...
also a dance move. And in the 1950s, it got quite big in the square dance halls. Square dance halls
The Hillary Step.
of New
What's it
Zealand.
look like?
I'm doing it right now. See that? And then, so that's sort of like your normal 2-step, but
Sure.
then he turns it into this.
Oh!
Yeah. And that was what changed it to the Hillary Step.
I see. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Thank you for demonstrating.
It's hard to do.
It is.
I learned that that step took me about 6 years to learn.
Do you think that Nave mastered it? He'd do it over a 12-meter rock face?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought so.
that's the tough part, the bit where I jumped 12
Sure.
meters at the end.
Sure.
In one false
You,
move.
you jumped
I mean, you just
12
saw
meters.
it. Yeah. Well, step.
So Hillary saw this means to wedge his way up a crack in the face between the rock wall and the ice. So they're just kind of, what I like to imagine is like they've got their back against the rock and their feet in the ice and just like shuffling their way up. I don't think that's quite how it went, but in my head it is. So
Yeah.
therefore in history, that's how it happened.
And in my head, now that is also how it is.
Thank you. So they've made it to the top. They've made it to the summit. Ta-da!
Oh, yes.
Well done. I'm proud.
Apparently, after getting like through that 12-meter rock face, it was fairly easy after that.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Comparatively
yeah, it
easy.
must have been. And in his narration, The Dreams Come True, Tenzing Norgay stated that Hillary had indeed taken the first steps atop Mount Everest, despite Edmund Hillary himself quoting that both had reached the summit at the same time.
Oh.
So who got there first?
Well, that's the thing. That was sort of widely debated. And I'll talk a bit more about that later as well.
But it sounds like Hillary's saying both at the same time.
We got there at the same time, but Tenzing's like, no, he was ahead of me. He got there first.
Oh, that's quite. I like it that it's not one person claiming, no, I was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a much nicer argument. No.
Well,
We did it together. No.
No,
Thank
you were there.
you so much.
Thank you,
but
I couldn't possibly. No, you hang up first. So they reach Everest's 29,028 foot or 8,848 metre summit, the highest point on Earth at 11:30 a.m., supper time or morning tea. And as Hillary put it, a few more whacks of the ice axe in the firm snow and we stood on top. A few more whacks there, chaps. They spent only 15 minutes at the summit. Hillary took the famous photo of Tenzing posing with his ice axe, but since Tenzing had never used a camera, Hillary's ascent went unrecorded.
Isn't that funny? I knew that he'd never had a photo up there. Which
However,
is
though,
very annoying.
again, according to Tenzing's autobiography, which is called Man of Everest, when Tenzing offered to take Hillary's photo, Hillary declined. And this is a quote. He said, "I motioned to Hillary that I would now take his picture, but for some reason he shook his head. He did not want it." I think bullshit.
Wow.
Surely you'd want your photo.
yeah, but
Like I don't particularly. I'm not really one for selfies.
it
all that much,
also
but if I was
feels
on the
like
top of Everest, I would take
For
a
the first
selfie.
time, yeah.
Even now, heaps of people have done it. I'd still take a photo.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
I don't know how to use a camera. Like
Well-
just push this button.
you can't fuck it up that much,
Crink,
can you?
crink, crink. It would have been those. It would probably have been in the days of the disposables or whatever. Where you had to wind them on, crunk, 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 and then
I don't.
pretty
I don't
straightforward.
think it was a disposable camera.
And is it true
Mm-hmm.
that Sir Edmund Hillary took a piss up there?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say
You ever come across that? You've come across
I
that?
didn't come across that in reading it, but
I've read that before, that he took a piss up there.
I love that. I hope that's true. Matt, if you're Googling, can you please?
oh no, that's
No,
gonna.
let's just say yes, he definitely did it. Because who needs truth?
Yeah.
Now, Tenzing left chocolates in the snow as an offering, and Hillary left a cross that he'd been given by John Hunt. And they took a few extra photos, and then, photos from the top looking down the mountain, just like proof that they'd actually made it to the top.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of
That it
people
wasn't faked?
would be doubting it.
Yeah.
A la the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took a few extra photos. And then they had to take care on the descent after discovering that drifting snow had covered their tracks, because originally they were just like, we'll just trace our own steps back. Because they'd careful footing to get there safely. They're like, well, work the way up, it'll work the way down. But the snow's covered it, so they're being really careful. Now, the first person that they met was Hillary's lifelong friend, George Lowe, who had climbed up to meet them with hot soup.
To the top.
Cute? Not right to the top, but this is on their way back down, so he probably got close.
What a legend.
Isn't that cute?
That just to me, in my mind, that just makes it sound so easy. There's a guy
know.
just carrying a mug of hot soup, not spilling a drop.
No, 2 mugs of soup.
He's just
No, he's got
walking up.
2 bowls of soup
Oh, that's great.
with some bread. Got it all.
But he's got like bread on separate plates,
Yeah.
so he's got it all up his arms.
Cracked pepper, sir.
Yeah.
He's on a chairlift. Like, I don't know why you guys just didn't take this thing.
Take the chairlift. Weird. Anyway, soup. Now, as we were we alluded to before, there was always a lot of speculation as to who reached the summit first.
As who pissed on the summit
Who
first.
pissed on the summit first.
And who shat on the summit first?
Even the official...
I would like to be the first man to shit on all 7 major summits of the Earth.
Wow, what a goal.
Thank you, but please do go on. What will they think?
Even the official documents state that the men reached it together. That was sort of to appease, the people of Nepal and the British, and
Okay, so
just keeping everybody happy.
if they reached it at the same time, why do we all know Sir Edmund Hillary's name but not Tenzing Norgay?
People do know Tenzing Norgay's name. You're just an uneducated piece of shit.
I knew that there was another guy, but I didn't know his name.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was another guy.
maybe we know it more because Edmund Hillary was a Kiwi.
I was going to say that I reckon there's 2 things probably for us.
Proximity.
One of them is that, and the other one is that Edmund Hillary is white.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
big time.
But like
I didn't
at
want
the
to say
time,
that, but yeah. And Tenzing's just a lowly Sherpa man. His father was a yak herder.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that pause
father.
is too long there.
Sorry.
Because
His
that would have
father
been
was
big.
a yak.
if his father was a yak, I'd be so impressed.
You paused for 3 minutes. His father was a yak. Herder.
Because he Edmund Hillary was one of the at the time one of the most famous men on the whole planet. Mm-hmm. And Tenzing Norgay, I believe, went on to climb Mount Everest several times
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I think he's
as a
still
Sherpa. But
Well, he'd been part of the expedition, the Swiss expedition before, who nearly got there as well.
and did Edmund Hillary ever go back?
Not to the top.
I don't know why you'd bother.
Yeah, you've been there, done that.
Unless it was just your gig, Sherpin.
Sherpa.
But I'm so disappointed that we don't know way better. I mean, Hillary is a great name. But Tenzing Norgay,
Great name.
holy shit.
It's one of the great names.
That is a great name. Dave, I know you write trivia questions. You've got to put that in.
Tenzing Norgay.
Yeah, that's going to be a question next week.
He's the partner of whom, maybe?
Yeah, good one. So there's apparently, like, as they were on their way back down, coming back into Nepal, there was like banners and posters and stuff that depicted Tenzing basically dragging
That
Edmund
is
Hillary
so good.
up the top. So obviously everybody in Nepal's
Like
we
Homer's-
got there first, and
Yeah.
everybody, because it's a British expedition, so everybody in Britain's like, we got there first. So for 30 years, these guys stuck to their gentleman's agreement and refused to say who had reached the summit first.
Yeah.
In climbing terms, like, no one could have reached the peak alone. So they were like, nah, we're a team. We got there together, which I think is quite nice.
Yeah.
Until it was only after his friend's death in 1986. So Tenzing died in 1986. Hillary felt able to speak freely, saying, finally,
I was about to say, fuck him.
finally, I got a gutful of it. I got tired of people saying Tenzing had got to the top first. So apparently he said, I got there.
Why? Who cares?
Who
You've got to
cares?
add a gutful. Come on, mate.
So he did claim it.
I think so, yeah.
Ah, well, in the end, that whole nice... He could have continued to say, no, we got there together. Who gives a fuck, really? I mean, like you say, you both... Neither of you could have got there without the other.
Exactly. It was a team effort.
Tenzing probably, to me, he's doing the bulk of the work.
I'm imagining
He's the guy who's
you
been
know,
up there before. He knows it. He's a mountaineer. Hillary's a beekeeper.
I'm imagining it. Remember
He is
in
being dragged up.
the Simpsons episode?
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of the power source bars,
Yeah.
where the Sherpas at night drag Homer in a sleeping bag up.
And when he like excuses them, they cartwheel down the mountain. That's how I'm imagining
Yeah.
Tenzing is on the mountain. Like, he's just so good. So yeah, you're probably right. He probably got there first. But hey, Edmund's white.
Or he was just behind him, but like he was doing star jumps and
Yeah.
jogging on the spot.
He's like, come on, let's keep moving. God, he's so slow.
No, you're right. This has been tough.
Oh, whoa, that was tricky, wasn't it? You fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I will say that I just looked up Tenzing Norgay because I just felt he wasn't getting enough credit, but him and Edmund were jointly named one of Time's 100 most influential people of the 20th century.
They certainly were.
So that's pretty. So he got a little bit of cred, which I'm happy for.
So news of the expedition reached Britain on the day of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and the press called the successful ascent a coronation gift. In return, the 37 members of the party received...
Sorry, I just want to stop you there and say that's probably one of the only things that would knock this event off the front page of the paper is a new
Coronation.
queen.
Yeah, but
Probably-
it's funny that they've called it a gift. That
Yeah.
means the Queen owns it. You've given that to it. Well, the Queen was the one
She
who did
owns what? The fact that you can't own a...
it. No, if that was the gift to her, then she's the first person to have
You're right.
assaulted the summit.
You're right. Good job, Lizzie.
And that's why we want to stay underneath her.
I don't
want to
wanna
be underneath
her.
anybody, thank you.
Hey, Jess, do you think this episode, more than any other, we have just cut you off about 3 words into every sentence?
Yeah!
I'm so sorry.
Do go on.
In return, the 37 members of the party received the Queen Elizabeth II Coronation Medal with Mt Everest Expedition engraved on the rim. And the group was surprised by the international acclaim that they'd received upon arriving in Kathmandu. So they get back to Kathmandu and everybody's like, "Whoa!"
And they're surprised.
They're like, "Oh, did you guys hear about that?" Yeah, they did. And Hillary and Hunt were knighted by the young Queen, while Tenzing received the George Medal from the British government for his efforts with the expedition. Now that medal is the second highest, one of the second highest achievements you can get, and it's for bravery.
Oh, that's great.
So that's kind of cool.
Because he couldn't have been knighted as he wasn't in the Commonwealth, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Wasn't
so.
Nepal? Was that?
No.
So post Everest, I want to talk a little bit about what about Edmund Hillary's life, because he's done a lot, right? He climbed 10 other peaks in the Himalayas on further visits in 1956, 1960 to 1961, and 63 to 65. He also reached the South Pole as part of the Commonwealth Trans-Antarctic Expedition, for which he led the New Zealand section. That was in 1958. So his party was the first to reach the South Pole using motor vehicles. So there had been a couple of treks in like 1911 and 1912 on foot, but they were the first to do it in cars. So it's like, well...
Which is way harder than walking.
Yeah.
I just want to say, in Antarctica, it's opposite, where walking's easy, but driving, very difficult.
Ah, and takes much longer.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Because it takes a little while to put chains on the wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an inconvenience no one wants to have to deal
No, I'd
with.
rather just walk it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hillary married Louise Mary Rose on the 3rd of September in 1953, soon after he came back from Everest. And he was a shy man, and he relied on his future mother-in-law to propose on his behalf.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That is not boding well for a relationship.
Not good.
How's the communication going in your relationship? Well, it's all right as long as our mother-in-law's around. We're fine.
A-okay. They had 3 children, Peter, Sarah and Belinda, and in 1975, while en route to join Hillary in a village in Nepal where he was helping to build a hospital, Louise and their youngest daughter, Belinda, were killed in a plane crash near Kathmandu airport shortly after takeoff.
Oh.
Right, so he's lost his wife and youngest child, which is very, very sad. But between 1977 and 1979, so a couple of years after that, Hillary commentated aboard several Antarctic sightseeing flights operated by Air New Zealand. So they would do like sightseeing flights, and he would like be like a tour guide, I guess, which is kind of cool.
Weird.
So weird. But he was scheduled to commentate on the 28th of November 1979, the Air New Zealand flight 901, but had to pull out due to work commitments in the United States. He was replaced by his close friend Peter Mulgrew, and the aircraft crashed into Mt Everest in Antarctica, killing all 257 people on board.
Whoa,
so
so
that's
he was
really sad.
supposed to be on...
He was supposed to be on that, and he
He's got his
wasn't.
friend to
He put
step
his
up.
friend on, right? So that's already pretty bad. But then later, Edmund Hillary married his friend's widow.
Oh, and they both lost partners in plane crashes.
Yeah, and then they
That's
got
a
married.
coincidence.
After post-Everest, he devoted much of his life to helping the Sherpa people of Nepal through the Himalayan Trust, which he founded in 1960. And so through his efforts, many schools and hospitals were built around the remote region of the Himalayas. I've got a list here. So they built 28 schools, 12 medical clinics, 3 airstrips and 2 hospitals.
That's pretty great.
That's pretty great. Edmund Hillary died on the 11th of January in 2008. Died of a heart failure at the Auckland City Hospital. And it was announced by the Prime Minister, and she stated that his death was a profound loss to New Zealand. And they had it was a couple of months later, in April, a service of Thanksgiving was held in his honour in the UK, and the Queen attended. Got a couple of fun facts. I don't know how fun they are, but just to round off, a few fun facts. Okay?
Yep.
All right?
All right.
Is that okay?
Cannot
I'm ready.
wait. Hey, look.
I am
You invented
ready.
the genre.
These will be pretty fun. They're not even that fun. A couple are just quite nice. His son Peter Hillary also became a climber. He summited. Do you summited?
Yeah.
Summited Everest in 1990. But in May 2002, Peter climbed Everest as part of a 50th anniversary celebration. And Tenzing Norgay's son, because he had died in 1986, so his son was also part of the expedition. So their two sons
really
did
cool.
it for them on the 50th anniversary.
That's sweet.
Which is quite nice. I like that.
Sweet facts.
Sweet fact. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's bloody sweet.
Yeah.
This is it's kind of cool. He's on Edmund Hillary is on the $5 note in New Zealand.
That's great.
That's pretty fun.
That's,
Who doesn't want to be on currency?
I know, what a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just,
Even if it is the 5.
And just finally, the second highest mountain range on Pluto is named in honor of Edmund Hillary. It's called Hillary Montes. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
He's got a mountain on a planet named after him.
Is the tallest mountain named after Tenzing Norgay?
The second highest
who possibly got there first?
Well,
is Pluto a microplanet or something? Is that
It's
one?
a dwarf planet.
Dwarf planet.
Yeah. So that's sort of that's the second highest mountain range. And the highest known mountain range on Pluto is named Norgay Montes after Tenzing Norgay.
He got something better than Edmund.
first.
Bloody time.
Yes.
So it's pretty exciting. And they also got a airport named after them, the Tenzing Hillary Airport in Nepal.
And Tenzing comes first
Yeah!
again. Oh.
So that is my report
My
on Edmund
OCD
Hillary.
means that I'm not able to let go of the fact you said a airport named after him.
Did I?
It makes me feel all weird.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm sorry.
Well, it's because you changed. I think you would change. You said a, and then there was a. Anyway.
Oh,
I
God.
regret
No,
bringing it up.
but I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to our listeners. Sorry to my
I'm
English
sorry.
teachers.
A airport.
Oh, just kill yourself.
I
Jess.
demand a apology.
Ugh. So there we go.
That is very cool. I did enjoy that a lot, and I hope that all of us can commit Tenzing Norgay's name to memory.
Tenzing Norgay, Tenzing Norgay, Tenzing Norgay.
That's how you commit things to memory. Good stuff.
Thank you, Jess. I did appreciate the report, Matt.
It was really good, Jess. That was really interesting. It's funny that I knew nothing about it. I could hardly even remember Hillary's name, let alone Tenzing's name.
Very good.
I didn't know about any of that at all.
Well, now you do.
If you asked me when it happened, I would have said 70s
Okay.
or 40s or 60s, but not whatever you say. I'm never guessing 50s.
Sure.
30s, maybe.
Maybe.
Now you know. And so do you all out there. Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to get in contact or suggest a topic for us, or indeed for me to talk about on my report next week, you can get in touch on Facebook, where Do Go On, Twitter, Do Go On Pod, email dogoonpod@gmail.com. And it is coming up to Comedy Festival time in Melbourne, where we live, and we are doing some shows, boy and girl. Boy, what is your show, Matt?
It's called Logistical Nightmare. It's with Andy Matthews, a very talented man.
I feel like Andy is the logistical and you are the nightmare.
I'm the nightmare. Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of how it all came to be.
Mm.
So it's on at Tuxedo Cat, second half of the festival. It's on at 7:15, I think. 7:15. Should be fun. It's going to be a bit of a mix, a bit of stand up, and a bit of
mountain climbing.
classic just fucking about.
You going to do some mountain climbing?
Yeah.
All right, sick. So
Yeah.
you heard it here first, people.
And JP, Jess Perkins, you're doing a show.
I am doing a show. I'm in Comedy Zone, which is on at Trades Hall throughout the entire festival, and it's me and 4 others.
Sort of 5 of the best up-and-comers we got around the country. Or
Comedy Zone's got a pretty great alumni.
It does.
People like Celia Piccola.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luke McGregor's done it.
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
Celia Piccola.
Jack Druce.
Jack Druce.
Demi Lardner.
Demi Lardner. Becky Lucas.
Seren Jaimani.
Seren. Sammy J. Lots of people. Like,
You're alluding to the fact that you did it last
Yeah, Matt,
year.
you want us to jump in and say that you did it last year.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's right, I did.
Yes,
We
you did
know.
do it. I'm following in your footsteps.
As one
yes.
well, no, it's crazy the amount of quality that has gone through there. It feels ridiculous that I did as well, but Anyway.
How do you think I feel? Anyway, Dave,
Well,
your show.
Well, if you haven't turned off already, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing my show.
God. Dave, they've turned off. Stop banging on about your fucking show.
I'm doing my show, my quiz game show, interactive style called Facty Fact versus the audience at the Imperial Hotel for the first half of the festival. It's 10:15 p.m. 3 different comedy guests every night competing against the audience in a quiz show. And I'm also doing it if you live in Sydney at the Sydney Comedy Festival, May 6th and 7th. But I'll talk about that later on. Thank you so much. Oh,
Dave, you got to have Jess and I on one night so we can
yes.
do go on
We'll have
special.
a do-go on special plus someone else for Facty Fact in Melbourne. It's going to be a great time. All the details for these shows are at comedyfestival.com.au. And we'll also be tweeting about it. So thanks so much, guys. And we hope to see you out there in real life. Right? Right. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.